And we have with us now via phone, I believe our friend Charles Mattocks is there. Charles, is that you?
Hey, how's everybody doing this morning?
Good. Welcome, or I should say welcome back. You've been on with us a couple times before over the years. I think the first time was, geez, it had to be at least 5 years ago, the first time you were on. I think you had you put out the documentary about diabetes? What was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been out.
It's coming back to me now. Yeah. Well, you're a busy guy. You do a lot of stuff. So welcome to the show on this Saturday morning. Jenny is here, of course, as well. And the subject of your newest documentary, Trial by Fire, is something that obviously Jenny is she can relate to. Unfortunately, because it is about a very serious subject. CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. And let me ask you right off the top, Charles, what was it that compelled you to make this particular documentary, Trial by Fire?
Yeah, my mother suffers from CRPS, and I remember she had it probably maybe about 3 years, maybe even longer. And I would go see her, and I really didn't have any understanding of what she was going through. And she was at a place where, she would complain about the pain. Once again, I was ignorant to what CRPS was. So I would just say, hey, well, Mom, maybe you should go to the gym. Maybe you should try to stretch it out. You got to walk it out. Things like that, really weren't going to help. And then one day I went over there. Now, she's a very proud Jamaican woman. And I was there one day, and this was, like I said, she was dealing with a lot of pain, but, she was still mobile and so on and so forth. And I remember her saying something about, wanting to maybe not be on Earth anymore. And I said, whoa, hold on a second. That my mother talked like this, So at that moment, I literally went online and went to YouTube and just started, looking up stuff and online looking up stuff. And I just bumped into someone who I think had CRPS, and it was real bad. And they were talking about how bad it was and about suicide and things like that. And that's when I said, wow, you know what? I don't know what this is or what this is doing to her. I get it now because I saw someone else who was explaining it. And I said, you know what? I've got to do something about this. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like I wanted to kind of chronicle what she was going through, but through chronicling or trying to chronicle what she was going to go through or going through, I had to kind of reach out into the community to say, let me reach out and try to find other people who were dealing with this, because I want to tell this story, not just her story, but just overall, and see what was going on with this condition called CRPS. And that kind of opened up the door, and I met some people in Tampa, I was living in Orlando at the time, so I met some people who were in Orlando area who were advocates of it, and they said, hey, Charles, we'd love to help you tell this story, and that's pretty much how it got started. Really just wanting to see what she was living through, mm-hmm. but then also met other people who were dealing with it as well.
In terms of reaching out to other people who are dealing with it, was that, how challenging was it to find those people? Because CRPS, the average person probably has no idea what it is, and it's not always, as you mentioned, easy to diagnose. And Jenny, how long?
It was years before they diagnosed me.
Years, yeah. Obviously, and the thing is too, it's such a conundrum. It's like when you have an illness that is rare, of course, it's harder to diagnose because fewer medical professionals have seen that particular illness, and there's a lack of research and whatnot, because it's not something most people have heard of. Everybody knows what diabetes is, but the average person has no idea what CRPS is. So was that challenging finding these people?
No, it actually wasn't. The thing is there are some great groups on social media, whether it's Facebook or whatever it may be. And the particular person that I ran into that was close to me, they had a great support group, and also they knew a lot of other people. So they had resources from doctors to experts to hundreds of people that were following them, and that kind of opened up the door. That I found other advocates, like at that time it was like Barbie Engel, who was very vocal a few years ago. She still is, about CRPS and pain. And it just started connecting. And because there wasn't much advocacy on it, the fact that this film was being put together was really, raising a lot of awareness. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy. There were a lot of nights where, at times, because of the pain, it's easy at times to shoot the messenger. So I had a lot of sleepless nights at times trying to pull all this together and attacked at times. But it was all worth it. And there's some amazing people out who are dealing with CRPS, and I still see what my mother's going through daily, and it's really taken her whole life, to be honest with you. Now, she's now bedridden, and sad to say, and so it still inspires me to want to get out there and change, and because also there aren't many other advocates that are known or can do what I can do with this, these films. I kind of feel like it's my God-given destiny to try to continue to fight for people with CRPS, and I've come to know so many and have so much respect and love for them too as well.
Well, that's how we met. How you and I actually met is because of CRPS, and what you're doing with Trial by Fire is so vital to get information out there. And unfortunately, in America, we don't have as much information out there as they do in other countries. When I was in the Netherlands, my girlfriend had gotten into a bad accident, and I got to see an entire protocol that they have to watch out for CRPS in people who get injured like that. But we have nothing like that, especially here. But I know that you're not just showing this here in the United States. I know it's been seen in well over 20 countries. You've won numerous awards with this documentary, and now what's exciting to me is that now it's going to be carried on Netflix soon, isn't it? Or no, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime.
It should be there hopefully in the next few weeks, which is really exciting. And no, you're right. It's probably been seen in over 25 countries, and I assume by who knows? I mean, at this point, maybe millions of people, because it's still getting seen, and because it's been on PBS, it's been on some great platforms already. So it's very exciting, and we plan on even with this new documentary that we're doing, Trial by Fire 2, going to other countries to kind of examine what's going on right now as far as that. But it's and I'll say this, I wish it was easier to get this done. I mean, you think with all the people who are dealing with pain, I mean, hundreds of millions of people are dealing with pain. It's one of the biggest businesses is pain.
Unfortunately, yes. And chronic pain patients.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Have been hurt so badly.
You don't know how many. Say it again.
Chronic pain patients have been hurt so badly. And
Of course.
And what you're doing is
don't
vital.
Know.
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
no, I was saying.
She was just saying what you're doing is so vital.
Yeah. No, and I was saying that you don't know how many doors I've knocked on to try to get some small funding just to get this done. And the sad thing, especially with CRPS, is there's no cure. So there's no money in that.
Right.
So it's hard to find people who say, we'll get involved. I mean, I even reached out to a lawyer that's pushing, trying to fight for people with CRPS, and you got to figure that a lawyer who might take one case and who could make, hundreds of thousands, if not more than that, is more concerned with, how much it's going to cost. You know what I mean? Even if it was $25,000, but I mean, even $25,000 could do a lot for us. But to get some scenes shot, but they could make $1 million or if not more on one case, and if they bring in 10 cases, they could make a whole lot of money. But so it's everyone is really in it for the money, and
unfortunately,
that's just healthcare.
100%. That's true. And one of the key treatments with CRPS is ketamine infusions, and for the vast majority of patients are having to pay cash out of pocket because they're or fight. I've been fighting insurance, and I've got a provider that's allowing me to use it, but I'm having to fight. And the thing about this is, yes, CRPS is rare, but people with rare diseases are not. 1 out of every 10 people has a rare disease. And the light that you're shining on this is extremely important in the sense that a CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, is the most painful disease known to modern medicine. And as you said, it has no cure. However, 70% of people with it, including children, will consider suicide as the option because it is that bad. It's called the suicide disease by the medical community and has been called that for over 200 years. So it's been a disease that's known, but not known enough. And the light that you're shining on this is vital to save lives. And I've had a few people that I've had to that just reach out to me, and I've kind of had to say, listen, just don't do that, and if you have to call me personally, and let's talk. Over the years, where I've literally had to try to, just talk people out of things, and I remember of late, and I like to be real because when doing an interview, you could always gloss over things and make everything out to be peachy and keen, but it's really not. And I think that the people who are dealing with this and the people who need to know about it need to hear the reality that's out there at times of what they're dealing with. Because I hear reality from them all the time, and it's like, wow, wish I could do more. But I had a lady recently who this was a couple months ago, and she would always say just the nicest things to me. She would just, I didn't know her, but she just reached out, and she was dealing with CRPS, and I remember before last time when I spoke to her, I said, listen, just if you need anything, just let me know, and so on and so forth. I had no idea, how bad things were, and then probably a couple of weeks later, someone reached out and said, Charles, I know you and so were good friends. She had a lot of respect for you, and but she's no longer here, and I was literally just shooken because, like I said, she would always encourage me. She would always say nice things and reach out and send me a nice message, and to hear that was like, man. Especially when we know that there are options and things that can be done out there, but it's money that gets in the way. It's lack of access, denial access to care, or if you don't have enough cash to put up front, you don't get it. This isn't a serious thing to talk about. And I'm glad that you're doing a second version and you're talking about other areas of the world, because some areas of the world are dealing with this better than we are. And we could take a turn out of their page, take a page out of their book, I should say, of what they're doing to help not only protect and preserve lives and save lives, but preventative medicines that we in America really kind of stink about. When it comes to preventative medicine, we stink.
Well, in a broader sense too, in America, we just don't. Yeah, there's not enough focus on preventative anything when it comes to health. It's all about waiting till you get sick, and then
we have good sick care, sort of, but not great preventative.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's and unfortunately, some of that I think is just American culture. But this is something in terms of CRPS. I mean, this isn't like, it's not like you can just, as we were talking about, there are treatments, but it's not like you can just go to the gym or take some vitamins. I mean, you have to be able to have access to what you need, not to cure it because there is no cure, but to try to manage it as best you can. And
and there are people who literally, who are traveling from different parts of the world just to, there's some treatment out here and for the ketamine in Florida, and literally you hear the stories. They're traveling from, whether it's Los Angeles, New York, Canada, Europe, and some have to do this every few months just to get a little bit of relief, and it's costly. This is not a couple of $100. This is some serious money to get on a plane, and pay for treatment, have to stay in hotels, have to rent cars, so on and so forth, just to get a little bit of relief for 3 months.
Yep.
This is not easy.
No, it's not.
What was kind of the criteria, Charles, for in terms of people who you put into the film to talk about this? And were there some people who you spoke with who you wanted to put in it who maybe, was there anyone who declined to be in it? Because some people are, as much as they might like to help and spread awareness, some people are obviously just very private about their health. So I'm curious what the criteria was, and did you encounter anybody who just said, no, I'd like to help, but I don't want to be in the documentary?
I'll say this. Almost everyone wants to be and wants to share their story.
Yeah.
Because, and this crosses color lines, this crosses gender lines, this crosses everything. I mean, when dealing with this type of pain, people just want to tell their story. I mean, we get now hundreds of messages where people are like, Charles, I just want to tell my story. Please, I have a story to tell. And it's to the point now where it's like, I'm so, focused on trying to raise some money to get this done that it's like, listen, I got to reply. Listen, I will get back to you because, we have so many messages that it's hard. And some of these messages are like very long where, it's going to take me a few minutes to just read through the one message. But I understand, what they're dealing with. So we're going to have to, take a day and get back to everybody. But no, everyone wants to share. Even back then when we were shooting the film, everyone wanted to share. And I think in many ways, because, like we just talked about, this being called a suicide disease, that a lot of people are, you can't even, me and you, we don't deal with what they're dealing with, and we can't understand being in pain day and night. I mean, can you imagine stubbing your toe and the pain of that, and having that day and night, and now you take that and amplify that 100 times, where this is running through someone's body. We can't understand what that is.
Right.
So, I mean, when you think about that, and people are thinking about, maybe taking their own life, they want to share. There's a lot of people. I just had a young lady a few days ago send me a message, and she contacted me through WhatsApp. She said, Charles, I don't think I could do this anymore. And she's got, I think, 2 kids, and I'm like, listen, just hang in there. And, she's got a fiance, her husband, and this is, wow. I words can't even express what they're dealing with, and how we need to fight for this. And this is why I fight for it, because once again, if I don't know who will.
Right.
Thank God I'm able to have the resources as far as getting the message out there and putting a good story together and so on and so forth. I wish it was easier. Sometimes like I said, I'm banging my head trying to understand, why it's so hard to be able to get a project like this together. But I understand that this is the world we live in, and but we keep fighting. And when hopefully we're working on going to Italy to highlight some of the treatment that they have over there, So we've been talking to that clinic over there, and
Italy
it looks
has a
like we might be able
treatment
to get
that,
over there.
if administered early enough, it can halt or reverse or put into remission
Really?
CRPS.
Yeah.
I used to know a woman who had a 14-year-old daughter that took her to Italy for the treatment. It did work for a number of years, and then I guess it came back, went back to Italy for an additional treatment. But it has to be done early. Like by the time we knew that I had CRPS, it was too late for that to work for me. And to access it here in the United States, I don't think you can. I think it's impossible.
Oh.
It's not even like an option for us.
Yeah, I think it's only in Italy.
People have mortgaged their houses to get, done anything to get their loved ones over there to try it.
Yeah.
Just to have something to try. And I do want to say, I mean, this is a serious topic. It is difficult to talk about at times, but this is why you're done this documentary and why it's so important to talk about these documentaries and get that information out there. But if you are having any concerns or you're not feeling too hot today or you need some help, please remember you can dial 988. 988 is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, and there are people there that can help you. So there's always a voice out there. Don't forget, 988.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think, too, as well, part of me, why I fight, too, as well, because you never know what might be around the corner. Mm-hmm. And you want folks to hang in there and hold out hope that maybe there is some treatment out there that won't have to mortgage a house or fly across the world to get done. Hopefully there is something that
and part of my hope too is with you doing this, I have hope that maybe that gets some of the people up on Capitol Hill to pay attention and approve treatments that are working for people with CRPS. But I do want to also bring up, because Charles, you've done a lot of really great advocacy work, especially in the realm of the forever sick. And you've also done work in highlighting diabetes and type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. I know you did a documentary series on that as well. And I wanted to make sure that our listeners heard about that.
Yeah. We've done some great shows, and we have the first docuseries we did, docu-reality series, was called Reverse. We shot that in Jamaica and featured people living with diabetes. And I've done a documentary called The Diabetic You, and a couple other projects on diabetes. And so it's been very powerful. And now that I'm even talking to you, I'd love to follow up once we get off too as well, because there probably is some other things that we could be doing, whether it's starting some sort of online petition where we have a few thousand people sign some things that could be brought in front of some legislation or creating some more awareness that maybe you could help me with and help the community get out there, so we can kind of make this more of a movement, because we have to force the hands of these companies.
We do.
These pharmaceutical companies. We
especially.
Can't just, they've got to open up their eyes and take account, and at least, if nothing else, help support the people, whether it's even with treatment options.
Oh, exactly.
Maybe.
Look at what's happening now in our community. Low-dose naltrexone is a medication that's working for a lot of people with CRPS and small fiber neuropathy, including myself. However, the pharmaceutical company that makes naltrexone won't make it in the low doses that people like us need it, because it's not profitable for them. Yeah. They only make it in the extremely high dose. So all of us have to go to compounding pharmacies to get the medication, which means we're paying 100% out of pocket, and it's not cheap. And have it made that way, because insurance gets to take a walk because it's compounded. Pharmaceutical company goes, not enough money in that for us, so we're not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And you're left with either, no money, no med, or whatever you got to do to get the med.
Yep, exactly.
Well, maybe we need to get a petition against or for that company, right? So maybe they can open up their eyes and say, what is this? Who are these people? And maybe take a different look at it. I think collectively as a community, while it's a rare disease, I'm sure there are I don't know what the number is, but of CRPS people, but any petition with 50, 60 to 70,000 signatures might make that company say, you know what, we may need to take a look at this, or at least address this in some form or fashion.
Right, exactly. Charles, it is already approaching the top of the hour. We need to begin to wrap up, but before we run out of time, I want to make sure the people know where to find the documentary, Trial by Fire, and also, too, where they should go to find your other work, your other documentaries, and anything else that you want our listeners to know about how to keep up with everything that you're doing.
Definitely, and I really appreciate this. My website is probably the best place. It's bellaandelliemedia.com, BELLAAND, LEELLE media.com, and you could always just Google my name, Charles Mattocks. I'm not hard to find. Trial by Fire, like I said, is on YouTube right now on one of my pages, the Future of Health Network, but probably will more direct it toward the Amazon Prime so that we can really get people focused there. And who knows, maybe with some great views on Amazon Prime, they may be interested in doing something bigger with us regarding CRPS, and so we really want to push that initiative. And for those who are listening, do remember that collectively, as an army of people, we work better because we have to share. There are people who are literally just now seeing Trial by Fire after so many years, and we have to make sure that when we get this opportunity that we share. We ask our friends to share. We ask the friends of our friends to share. And even though at times a lot of us don't get the support that we would like, just keep pushing. Just keep sharing. Get the message out there. And I think if we work together, at least we can cause some attention and some eyes to be put on some things, so that we can try to get some more help and resources out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Charles Mattocks, thank you so much, my friend. It's wonderful to have you back on the show. Always great to speak with you, and we really love and appreciate what you're doing. And keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Thanks so much, and have a good one.
Absolutely, Charles. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Charles Mattocks, filmmaker and also a celebrity chef and actor. And he does a lot of stuff, by the way. He
does.
Not just, obviously we're focused on the documentary with that conversation, but he's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on. So you should definitely check out everything that he's doing.
Absolutely. And I follow him all the time because he does so much in the chronic illness area.
Yeah.
And shines such a great light on it, especially with that series. He did that series he was talking about on diabetes is excellent.
Yeah.
And they talk about things that they do to, help stay healthier, diet and so forth. So it's good to have those conversations, frankly. And Trial by Fire, 100% excellent movie to watch. If you haven't seen it, please see it, share it, help spread awareness. The more people that are aware and know, the more we can do to try and help and prevent people from losing their lives.
Yep, absolutely.
And again, I want to just remind people, if you're having a hard day or you're needing someone to talk to, please remember 988 is a great number. You can call, you can find help and support there, and no shame, 988.
Yep, absolutely.